Hi everyone, so just a quick video today on my Noble M12 GTO-3R. I'm less than 2 weeks into ownership. So far, absolutely love it. This is just really a very quick and raw video of my initial experiences and thoughts driving it. When I've owned the car a few months, I'll do a much more detailed review of it and let you know my thoughts, and be interesting to see how it changes over time as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Stop driving this thing to come to some slightly better, faster A roads than the ones round near where I live early on a Sunday morning, just to get a bit more used to the car still, on some faster corners in particular, with some wider roads that I know aren't so potholed and uneven. Unfortunately, some of the roads around me, you've got to be really careful. Low cars, you can easily bottom out. I worry about the sump on my GBS sometimes. You really need to know the roads. So I know these roads around here, further up north in Lincolnshire, and I know that they're kind of safe. I'm not going to bottom out. Interesting to see which is like on the slightly faster corners now. The chassis is just so good in this, and the suspension's excellent as well. This has got aftermarket Protec shocks on it and IBAC springs, but it's so good. The feel you get is just amazing. It flows so nicely through the corners, incredibly responsive. The front end's brilliant in grips. I do find it goes slightly light, where I guess when you're starting to lose grip a bit, which I hadn't expected. But you feel everything, of course, through it, which is what these cars are famous for. Yeah, not a hint of understeer, but you just get this lightness when you're approaching the edge of grip. Just feels so lovely, so easy at speed. You know, still obviously not pushing it very much, still getting to know the car, but it's actually quite confidence-inspiring. People have famously said, yeah, it's the kind of car that inspires confidence until it spits you into a hedge. But I hope not to be driving it that hard or stupidly on the roads. And I'm an ultra cautious driver on track. I find it terrifying. So, you know, I hope I don't get to that stage. One thing I might do is have a play around with the suspensions, three-way adjustable suspension shocks. Yeah, it's slightly jittery on the roads around here. I think I wonder if I do need to play with it a bit. Obviously still quite new and getting used to it, but I think it's a little bit jittery for the unevenness of the roads here. Probably be perfect on flatter roads. But yeah, I think I may need to have a bit of a tweak and just see. I mean, it still rides really well, really comfortable. But yeah, I think I need to have a play and just tweak the settings, take it for a drive, see how it goes. I think it's just, as I say, the unevenness of the roads around here. It's quite a challenging bit of road, so I might shut up for a bit. Tough set of corners there with the camber, the changing gradient going from downhill to uphill, and the road is really, really rough there, and this just handles it beautifully. I have to admit, I still haven't quite got used to the brakes. Very long travel on the brakes as well as the accelerator pedal. And it stops really, really well, but I guess I'm still in the back of my mind slightly nervous about the lack of ABS. and getting a feel for when that might cut in. I've had it, sorry, the lack of ABS and when the brakes might lock. I've had them lock a couple of times when it's been cold. That's understandable, especially with these very, very hard pads that are on it, cold tyres and the cold pads. But when it's warm, you know, it stops extremely well. But as I say, I'm always slightly conscious of the lack of ABS and obviously not wanting to lock up. So I'm not braking anywhere near as on the edge, near the edge as I could be. I know that. So steering is very direct. I found the rack quite quick to start with. I've got a bit more used to it now, so it felt a bit kind of darty to me. Much more used to it, but as I say, very direct. The front end just goes exactly where you put it. Driving this car anywhere close to the edge because it takes quite a lot of concentration. I mean, I'm sure I'm nowhere near the limit, but I think if you are near the limit, the margin for error is probably quite small in a mid-engine car, so obviously just using all my concentration and shutting up when I do that. Huge fun though, just the feedback, the connection with the car. You know, it's so flat as well through the corners, really. It's a superb chassis. Huge fun. Still a bit frustrated I can't heel and tow on this. It would make quite a difference, actually, I think, to the driving experience. It's something I really love about being able to do in my GBS. I love seeing the corners sign. Wiggly road for 3 miles, excellent, bring it on. Pulls to the red line, this very strong mid-range. This is only running 360 pound-foot. Now I don't want to go crazy on this car. It's already probably too quick for me, if I'm honest, or my skills I should say, but I may well want a bit more power. That stopping is incredible, yeah. I think people get over 400 with these T25 turbos quite comfortably, and about 475 brake. This is running just under 430, so that's a noticeable difference from what I've got. I'll obviously speak with the experts before doing this, because for me it's not about all-out power. I want to retain the same nice linear power delivery that there is. I also want to retain the balance between getting higher power and torque, but also reliability. You know, that's key for me. Like I say, it's probably already too fast for me, but I'm kind of the mentality, well, if you can have more power, why not? So, and relatively easily, cheaply, let's say. So let's concentrate again. Interesting. This is, I suppose, in lots of ways roll bar as well, which I presume they felt was better on track. That would be really interesting to try actually, but a very interesting review on that car by JM on Cars, who I think described it as absolutely terrifying. He found that he had issues under braking where I think braking into a corner where he found it really straightened up. I haven't had that experience. He also commented, excuse me, that it went really light at higher speeds, and I can see that a little bit. I would be really interested to see what he thought on this car, because I don't find that, the very slight lightness, but nothing significant. Also, I don't have this issue under braking, so it's got upgraded pads and discs, so maybe that makes a difference. It's also got some bespoke extra downforce, so in front of the, attached to the chassis, in front of the front wheels, it's got some, I think they're aluminium plates. These were just made by the previous owner. I understand it's a modification quite a few of the Noble guys have made. It deflects the air, I suppose, so it doesn't cause the lightness that people have experienced at higher speeds with the front wheels. So that's just two aluminium plates. I guess they're about this large, roughly square, but they're not square, cut to shape. But to give you an idea, that kind of size in front of the front wheels. So I would be really interested to hear his comparison. I get him about the terrifying part. I still find this car terrifying as well. I'm still new to it though, but maybe I should get in touch and see what he thinks about it. See if he'd like to drive it. I'd be very interested to hear his comparisons, having driven that M400. This is obviously pretty much similar power level as well as the M400, though slightly less torque.